me the sound, give me the sound, give me the sound.
What a cool car, man.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Hi, I'm Dennis Gage. Well, this week we're in Phoenix, Arizona to check out a couple of the cars in the collection of Drew Alcazar. Now, Drew's got some really nice cars, and they span quite a range. But his true passion is European sport touring, and he pulled out a couple particularly nice examples for us to play with today. Check these babies out. Drew, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, Dennis.
Man, you brought out a couple nice cars today, didn't you?
That's why I'm doing great.
That's why you're
Ferrari,
doing great.
Mercedes, how can you not be doing
How could
great?
you go wrong? And you use them, right? I mean, you do a lot of touring in these cars.
We do, although we enjoy the concourse show field, which, as you know, we do quite a bit of.
You do?
It's always fun to have a couple that you can go out and do some touring events with, and these are two of those candidates that we really do enjoy, do a lot of driving with.
They're beautiful sitting still, but they were made to move, you know, and it's,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
great that you get them out and get them moving. Well, let's start with one of my all-time faves here, the Gullwing Mercedes. These are absolutely fabulously beautiful cars.
Yes.
I mean, and to this day, and this is a 55, right?
1955, correct.
To this day, this design just is it's a showstopper.
Well, they really are, by the truest definition, a hallmark automobile.
Well, now they only made these for what, 3 years?
3 years, actually introduced at the New York Auto Show in 1954. Max Hoffman, who was the U.S. importer for Mercedes-Benz here in the United States, convinced them to actually take the race car version of the 300 SL and make a touring car out of it. So there was only about 1,400 of them made, and the vast majority of them, again, came to the U.S. market.
Oh, really?
So it's a very unique constructed automobile.
Everything on this car was really functional, wasn't it?
Very much so. Unlike the Italians, the Germans were very function-oriented. If they were going to put it on the car,
It was gonna
had
do
a
something.
use. And there is one notable exception to that, which is an interesting design cue that's also been picked up on some of the contemporary Mercedes-Benz today, which is the two hood bulges.
I was going to ask you about those.
The one hood bulge is actually functional in that it has clearance for the cam cover inside underneath the bonnet, and they put the other bulge on it merely to go ahead and have some symmetry between
Well,
the
and then
two.
the Germans are into symmetry, so I mean, so it had function there. It was
That's right.
exactly for symmetrical purposes. Now, also, if I recall, the reason it's a Gullwing is also part of the structural integrity of the car, right?
Correct. As they made the car originally with the race car, as we go inside, you'll see some of the braces inside that come across to a very large brace that goes in that sill area.
Right.
And so
This whole area here is braced, right?
Correct. It all comes right on through this sort of kind of sill area here. And Mercedes-Benz was unwilling to sacrifice that sort of element from the competition cars to the street versions, and so it remains. So it is one of the very unique elements of the Gullwing doors, but again, derived in a German style from its functionality.
Absolutely, and because you couldn't interrupt this, and there was really no other way to put a door in it, so it had to be
Indeed.
the Gullwing. But blue plaid from the factory, huh?
Yeah, isn't that fun?
Yeah, that's interesting. That's really interesting. But what a beautiful dash, too. I mean, it's just, you know.
Again, extremely functional. The gauge is very large, very easy to read. And another unique element is that the steering wheel actually folds down to make entry and exit in and out of the car with the Gullwing doors a little easier.
Oh, that's interesting.
Isn't that fun?
And the factory luggage?
Yeah, that's one of the great pieces. Not all cars came with the fitted luggage, but that was indeed an option. In the event that you didn't get the fitted luggage, you know, you had the railing there that you could go ahead and tie things off and so forth to secure whatever it is that you might pack back in that area. So again, very, very functional.
How about the vents here?
I love that sort of whole area right there with the shock absorbers and the Gullwing doors with the two vents coming up. They're actually air extractors. They're designed to remove air from the cabin.
Okay, so what powers the Gullwing?
Gullwing's powered by a 3-liter, actually inline 6. So again, very functional, almost, there's really nothing bulletproof, but the 3-liter Mercedes 6-cylinder engine is about as close to that as it can get.
Let's open it up and have a look. Wow, wow. They all had that that intake.
Yeah, the aluminum intake plenum.
Plenum?
This one has some liberties were taken with it. That's actually been polished.
It's a slant-mounted engine. It's
Right,
yes?
it's an inline six, but they actually have it over at a bit of an angle. And again, the relief inside the hood was to clear this cam cover here.
So this performs pretty much like you'd anticipate a 300 SL would perform.
They're a lot of fun to drive.
Well, you know, I've actually never driven one of these.
Yet.
Yeah.
Is that the word you're
That's
looking for?
the word I'm looking
I
for.
thought so.
Well, close her up. Let's take this baby out.
All right, let's do it.
No trick? Man, I like the sound of that.
Yeah, it's got a real Mercedes sort of mechanical.
It really does.
A lot of torque though.
I'll say.
I mean, you could be in a low gear coming up these hills and just kind of lug it. The power band on this is really linear, unlike Ferraris where you got to really rev them up in order to feel a little bit in the seat of your pants. This really pulls. There's a lot of sort of a torquey feeling all the way from the low end all the way up to the high. One of the things I really enjoy on all of this is all of the ivory, you know, the steering wheel, and the switch gear, and things like that. Always feels so good in your hand.
Boy, it's just as smooth as it could possibly be.
This is an exceptionally nice running car. I think it's the thing that I like about it most, is that it really is an extremely well done car. It drives fabulous.
And it feels solid. It feels big time solid.
The Ferrari is a much different driving experience.
Yeah, well, this has been great. You know, I love the Gullwings, but I'm feeling kind of, like you say, I'm feeling a little claustrophobic. What do you say we take out a Ferrari without a top on it? What do you think?
Take out the top off Ferrari, the drop top.
Drop top,
All
let's
right,
do it.
That's good.
Back to the ranch. Well, that was fun.
Did you like that?
I like that a lot. That is a way cool car.
Indeed, indeed. That's part of the fun of it, enjoying it.
I have to agree. And speaking of way cool, we've got another really way cool here. This is a 1960 250 GT Ferrari.
Yeah, a little bit different take on sort of that European touring kind of thing. This one now presented by the Italians, as they say, a 255. But as we would say, it is a 250 GT Pininfarina Cabriolet Series 2.
That's a
mouthful.
That's a mouthful. Stick with the Italian, actually. Well, now, 1960, how many of these did they build?
Well, they actually made 200 of the cabriolets in two different sets, actually. They did about 100 cars early on, and they took a brief break and came back with a few little revisions and did another 100 cars. They were so popular. But again, bodied by Pininfarina, which was really the standard sort of road car builder for Ferrari, unlike Scaglietti, for example, that did the competition cars and, of course, the Spider California. The nice thing about the little PF Cab 2s is that they're sort of the Spider California's little brother. They're sort of the younger sibling, a little finer line. All of the headlights were stand-up, uncovered headlights versus the Spider Californias, of course, plexiglass enclosed.
Well, I was surprised, you know, from a picture or something, you think of this as a pretty small car, two-seat, you know, sports car and everything, but it's really surprisingly long.
It is. It's a lot of car. It has a very sort of dainty line to it in a lot of different things, but I love the front fender on this car. Sort of that area behind the front tire to the door really belies that you have this large V12 lurking under the hood. And then you sort of transfer back through these very gentle lines. The hips here on this car are a lot less pronounced than sort of the brawny, big-chested California Spider hips, so it's a little more tasteful there into sort of this nice expanse of this rear fender that fades into the little tail lights which they wrap around.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, it just molded it, and even the tail light, and it swoops to here, this piece right here. Again, it's all the Italians. I mean, they know design. I mean, everything about this is just, this is very much form driven.
Yes, a lot of artwork going on here. You'll see things that are just driven for nothing but
Well, even the way the corner is on the deck lid, I think is beautiful. It's,
passion of the line.
and a gorgeous color to it. It's kind of a deep red, almost a wine red.
This is traditional Ferrari red. This is Rosso Rubino.
Aluminum car, steel car?
Steel car, all steel-bodied car, with the exception, of course, aluminum hood, aluminum doors, and aluminum deck lid.
So
also.
Rosso Rubino steel car.
Russo steel.
I
I think you're onto something there.
Gorgeous interior too, pretty intense color there. It really matches the red nicely, but that pops.
Again, very traditional sort of Ferrari colors with the tan sort of Ferrari tannish color interior with the Rosso Rubino exterior. There's so many things as you start to look at the car that again are just done for no other reason than the artwork.
The padded dash and the stitching here I think is beautiful.
Those types of things are going to be traditionally a little bit more ornate on Ferraris than they are on some other cars.
Did it have a removable hardtop as an option for this car?
Options on the car was indeed removable hardtop, and this one does have, interestingly enough, both of my cabriolets have the optional removable hardtop.
And
so that's
you
really
could
neat.
also affix a soft top?
Uh-huh, correct.
Wow. Okay, under the hood, what do we have?
What would be a Ferrari without the V12?
Without the V12.
This is actually the sort of second generation or evolution of the Colombo-based design of V12 in that the actual spark plugs now are on the outside. So it's a 128F engine, which is the later design with the outside plug. So this car is a little bit unique. It's sort of on the cusp.
Nice.
And interestingly enough, it still has the old lever sort of hood-eye shock absorbers before they changed to the traditional conies.
Carburetors are?
3 Webers.
3 Webers. And another one that you drive and take out and have fun with?
Quite a bit, yeah. We enjoy the touring events with this and the different road rallies and so forth. We do as much of that as we can.
I had a blast in that 300 SL. So I was wondering if we might
Well,
repeat the
I don't
experience.
know,
Or what do you
you
say?
know,
It's
it's,
a Ferrari, I know, but I didn't break that one. What do you say?
Okay.
All right, let's do it.
Let's take it for a ride.
Let's go for a spin.
All
Close
right.
her up. Beautiful.
There's nothing quite like that song of the Ferrari exhaust at that 6,500 RPM and up. Makes you really want to hear it every single time you shift. You want to hear it. Give me the sound. Give me the sound. Give me the sound.
It's a completely different car.
Well, the top off has got to give you another sensation too.
Yes, it does. And I feel good. I feel good in this car. And how can you not look good in this car?
You look good.
You look marvelous in this car.
You can't lug this little pup like the Mercedes, though.
No.
Those tiny little pistons in here are going,
I can't take this. Keep the RPMs up. This, though, is a fun little get-around car. I mean, this thing would be, in Southern California, blasting up and down
I tell you.
PCH, this would be awesome.
Now that we've got prime time back here in Phoenix in the Valley in the wintertime, there is nothing more fun on an evening when the sun's setting or twilight with the lights coming up to go out to dinner. It's just an absolute ball to get this car out and go for a ride. It's actually a bit of a rare treat. I usually don't get to ride too often.
I think the color's perfect, too. I love this deep red.
It is very classic.
Now, have you owned a few Ferraris in your time?
Yeah, we are Ferrari junkies. Sometimes you'll be wearing your Ferrari, your Scuderia Shield shirt or something like that. Somebody says, well, which Ferrari do you have? And you always have to kind of go,
well,
because you're always a little embarrassed to go, well, it's one of these and those and this and that. And this. And if they didn't think you were sort of an arrogant idiot before,
they certainly
definitely do afterward. They go, you're one of those guys.
Oh, I see. So until our next meeting, remember, honor the timeless classics. I'm Dennis Gage. Happy motoring.